Okay, you guys, so today we're taking powers of powers, which means we're going to take something that's raised to an exponent and then raise that to an exponent. Okay, so we have a power of powers rule. So if we have something raised to an exponent, it's in parentheses, and then we raise that to an exponent, we multiply the two exponents together. So our rule for powers of powers is we multiply the exponents. Okay? For example, x to the third squared. Okay, x to the third squared. Anything squared, right? What's x squared? X squared equals x times x. So x to the third squared would be x to the third times x to the third. Is everybody okay with that? What do we do when we're multiplying two powers? We add the exponents. So we would get x to the third times x to the third. 3 plus 3 gives me x to the 6th. But let's look at that. What's 3 times 2? X to the 6th. Okay, so that's why that rule works.
Oh, so you can just multiply the two exponents?
We can only do this if everything inside of the parentheses is being multiplied. And I'll show you guys what we mean later on. But if there's any addition or subtraction going on inside the parentheses, you cannot multiply the exponents together. Okay? We'll work with that a little bit later. So what happens if I have more than one thing inside of the parentheses? We can just distribute that exponent to each term inside the parentheses, and we multiply those exponents together. Okay, so if we have, say, a times b to the m power, m can be anything, we distribute the m exponent to a and the m exponent to b. So I call that distribute exponents. Okay, and the same thing, you can only do this if everything inside the parentheses is being added. Or I mean multiplied, not added. So let's equal 1, x to the 6th, all of that to the 4th. Now for the first couple of examples, I'm actually going to write it out. X to the 6th to the 4th. That means that I'm multiplying x to the 6th how many times? 4. So I'm going to, we call this expanding. X to the 6th times x to the 6th times x to the 6th times x to the 6th. Okay, now this is something we already know how to do. Alright, x to the 6th times x to the 6th times x to the 6th times x to the 6th. What do I do with all of those exponents because I'm multiplying?
Add.
I add them up. So 6 plus 6 gives me 24 times x, or no, the whole thing gives me 24, yeah. You guys went ahead of me.
4x though?
No. The coefficient tells us how many we've added together.
That's the answer?
So this would be our answer. And what's 6 times 4? 24. Now to answer, so let's try this one. Y to the third times 5. I'm not going to write it all out this time because I see that I have two parentheses to an exponent. So I'm just going to multiply those exponents. So what would my answer be?
Y to the 15.
Y to the 3 times 5, which gives me y to the 15. Okay? Does that make sense, guys, those rules? So let's try example 3. Now this is an example of what I was saying about you distribute the exponents. 3x to the 4th, all of that squared. I'm going to solve this in two different ways. The first thing I'm going to do is expand this. How would I expand this? 3x to the 4th times, good, 3x to the 4th. And let's just multiply this, signs, numbers, variables. What are the signs for each of these? Positive. Positive times positive gives me positive. 3 times 3 gives me 9. X to the 4th times x to the 4th give me x to the 8. We add the exponents when we are multiplying. So my answer here is going to be 9x to the 8 if I expand it and do all the work out. Let's try the shortcut. Okay, so let's try the shortcut then. Are you okay?
No.
Okay, my shortcut tells me that I can distribute the exponent into the parentheses. So I distribute the exponent to the 3 and to the x to the 4th. Now this does not mean that I multiply 3 times 2. It's not regular distributive property. We're multiplying exponents here. If 3 itself, what is its exponent? A 1. So what would I get if I distribute the squared? 3 times the 1 times 2 gives me 3 to the 2nd power times x to the 4 times 2? 8. What's 3 squared, guys? 9. So my answer would be 9x to the 8th. Oh my gosh, I got the same answer. Pretty cool, right? I solved this